Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the weekly kickoff. All right, now the dollar ends the week higher. I mean, if you look at the news services there versus the euro as traders book gains, right? Yeah, whatever. That's just a story. What the real story is, we had the Fed. Okay, we've had a bunch of central banks last week, right? It was a lot of stuff coming out, a lot of information for the market to digest. And after the sort of Fed meeting, there's a bit of dollar weakness in the market, right? And then what we had is the Bank of England, Swiss National Bank, and the same theme is coming out. Okay, and obviously things haven't sort of aren't working that great for the euro at the moment. A little bit of two or three positive things now they're sort of rolling back, like the peace talks, and a whole range of other things. But the big thing that is happening is the Fed have come out, right? They are the sort of benchmark or the baseline for the global markets. Come out and said, look, yeah, we're not sure about what's going on with these tariffs and what the impact is going to be. It's a wait and see situation. Then we are starting to see the same thing across all the central banks, right? So it's almost like we had dollar weakness. This is like the race to the bottom, like the dollar going down. Okay, these everything going up, and then all of a sudden, euros going down, sterling's going down, Aussie CPI was down, or employment numbers, Kiwis heading down. Like it's like the race to the bottom. Like nothing, like the dollar to me is going up because everything else is weak, right? And that's one of those weird situations where there's a bit of imbalance initially, and then all of a sudden, right now, this is what fair value is. Okay. And it makes trading a little bit trickier than it needs to be. So just be aware we've had a really sort of hectic week sort of come out of the markets. Now, if I just have a look at where everything is, the equities ended up positive on Friday. The US Treasury yields look like they've found a home. They are sort of just trading sideways or almost kaput at this stage. And the major currency pairs, I mean, this is just the early start of the week. No sort of clear sign here at the moment. But you know what? Everything was going down. We're seeing a little bit of a retracement here in the euro, sterling, Aussie, Kiwi. A little bit of a bounce off the lows from Friday, right? And I'm not surprised. It was a bit of a tough one. All right, so let's just have a look at the. Actually, let me just start with prime time analysis in the live trade hub here. Just having a look where everything is. We're getting a little bit more uniform action here, and something that makes sense, right? Aussie and Kiwi bearish. Kiwi had some positive GDP numbers that didn't last. Aussie weaker on employment numbers. Still, we've got to wait two or 3 months before the US tariffs on China sort of kick in. But the market is factoring in not good things, right? At the moment, we're seeing sort of daily changes in the safe havens as well. Dollar Swiss, dollar yen from down to up, down to up. But at the moment, we are seeing a bullish sort of signal here on dollar Swiss and dollar CAD, and bearish on Aussie and Kiwi. Now, this is better, right? Last week we had a situation where some of the dollar block, like Aussie and Kiwi, were going down, and dollar Swiss, dollar yen, etc., were going down as well. Like that doesn't work, right? The way these things are quoted, they should go in opposite directions. That wasn't happening. At the moment, you've got, we did have some good settings here last week for euro and sterling. Now they're sort of discombobulating. So what we need the dust to settle, right? We need just let the markets open up, clear the cobwebs from last week. We have a situation where we've got a strong dollar in the market at the moment. Just let Monday run through to the keeper, right? So to me, US yields are sort of sideways. Equities Friday were up. We'll see how they sort of open up during the Asia session. And the dollar index was up there as well. So not like uniform risk on, risk off profiles that you might sort of be dreaming of. Currencies in the zone, well, no surprises. Aussie, Kiwi, dollar Swiss, dollar CAD. Okay. Now, one thing that I might be sort of discussing this week in the Q&A is the difference between a short-term and a long-term position, right? Because if there's a long-term opportunities in the market, we really want to get really want to get some of that, right? And so just check that out in the register for the live Q&A on all things trading. We do have the major live trading session this week is going to be on the UK inflation numbers, right? So Very important, obviously. We've had the Bank of England. We're now going to look at some numbers. Could set the tone for sterling, for the coming weeks, not just like a day, right? Especially with everything else going on. The Just to give you a look through the week, okay, just looking at trading economics. There's a couple of things coming out here. Yeah, the S&P flash numbers here out of the UK, definitely worth a look. It's like an early look into the under the dashboard. IFO business numbers. We saw the ZEW numbers move the market last week. So this is to me, and the best thing about that is it's not like a volatile release, just the number that comes out. Market looks at it and goes, yeah, right, okay, got it. Now, the UK inflation, which we will be looking at very closely. So by Wednesday, we're going to have some good structured numbers coming out. Starts with UK inflation numbers, or actually starts with the Aussie monthly indicator. I'll be having a close look at that. UK inflation, then durable goods. Then you get into Thursday. You've got you've got the Bank of Canada summary of deliberations. That might be interesting to see what they've been talking about. Thursday, US GDP numbers, and then you come into Friday, GFK consumer confidence numbers, UK retail sales, and then you got the PCE price index. I'm starting to get like the PCE price index is so overrated these days, but it's, the personal income, personal spending will be sort of important. So Wednesday onwards, we start to get some numbers that may see things start to open up. And what I'm talking about is when we're looking at the charts, if we get a clear US dollar direction, right? And then we start to see some easy trading opportunities evolve, right? This sort of price action here is not easy, right? It's a bit all over the shop. And leading into that, we had some sort of chaotic sort of price action there as well, right? It's all about these tariffs. We are starting to get some communication from the central banks. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but it is just like, yeah, we're going to wait and see. We're going to wait and see. Well, I tell you what, there's no waiting and seeing with especially the Aussie and Kiwi commodity currencies, biggest export market, China. They are already getting hit and have been for some time. So, to me, I just want strong dollar or weak dollar. I don't care what it is, right? We just want an easy direction on the US dollar. Makes it easy for us to work out what's going on. We've had the Fed where we get the non-farm payrolls next week. So we've got a bit of time between now and getting some of the big blockbuster numbers out of the US. But this week we've got some major ones, right? The GDP numbers, we've got the UK inflation numbers. Let's try and pick the markets off, right? Because you know what, I got sort of a little bit caught up in a couple of trades. It's one of those ones where you sort of just get the timing, you're out of the sequence of timing, and the difference is, 5 to 7 grand, right? That's the difference. So let's get the timing, just tune up your charts, work out where the levels are, and let's start to see where momentum is by the time we get through the Monday session, right? I can't see too much value in the markets just at the moment. If anything, as I said, there's just a little bit of retracement going through the markets here, bouncing off the lows, but I can't see any news to sort of really get me pumped here. I think that's just a bit of retracement occurring from Friday's big clean out, right? All right, guys, that's the weekly forecast. I think this is like structurally, like it's the last week of the month, but we've got good numbers this week, right? Two sets of inflation numbers. We've got retail sales, GDP numbers. We've got a bunch of stuff that isn't going to completely disrupt the market as the data is released. That's a good thing, right? So make sure you keep abreast of what's going on. We're so close to getting the prime time analysis automated. They've set it up. There's just a few things to connect. That is going to give you non-stop constant signals as well. But I'll give you more information about that as we go through the week. All right, guys, have a good one. All the best. Cheerio.